use ice to make bacon, but you can use water to make bacon. As far-fetched as this may sound, what I'm trying to tell you is pigs and frozen water don't mix. You must have clean, flowing water for your pigs to survive. It wasn't that cold when I started my 4-H swine project, but it didn't take long for fall to turn into winter, and that caused my water to freeze. So I came up with a solution that I'm going to share with you today: how to make a heated pig waterer. I'm going to go through the supplies as I build it. First, you need a 150-gallon water tank. I brought this in as a model. Now this might sound crazy, but stick with me. We're going to drill a hole in your brand new tank using a 7-inch hole saw bit, about 1 inch or 2 above the bottom of your tank. Next, you're going to get a pig drinking nipple. Now this nipple is made for a garden hose that has a lot of pressure. When we first hooked it up, it barely dribbled out. So to save you some time, I'm going to teach you a trick. You're going to drill a hole using a 3/8-inch drill bit in the center where your old hole was, so that it comes out faster and more comes out. Next, you're going to put Teflon tape on the end of your drinking nipple. Now you're going to get a 1/2-inch PVC coupler and screw it on to the end of your drinking nipple. Next, you're going to take a 1/2-inch PVC adapter and put Teflon tape around it to prevent leaking. Next, we're going to put a 3/4-inch flat washer on. This prevents it from breaking when your pigs are being rough with it. Next, you need to put on a 3/4-inch O-ring. This also prevents leaking. Now, we need to put the adapter through the hole and screw it on to your drinking nipple. Make sure your drinking nipple is face downward so that it doesn't squirt out when your pigs are drinking it. Now, you might think you're finished, but wasn't this called a heated pig waterer? We need to add heat. Follow instructions to your universal tank heater to install. I brought this in as a model. It will have a plug at the end like this one, so that you can plug it in when it gets cold. Now we need to raise it up on 6 concrete blocks so that it's level for your pigs to drink. I brought 2 bricks in as models. Now we need to fill it up just a little bit so that you can test it. If there are no leaks and your heater's working well, then you need to fill it up all the way to the top and don't let it get below halfway. One night I let it get below halfway and my pigs knocked it over and broke it. So we need to fill it up all the way to the top. Here's a picture of my tank in action and a picture of our heater. The cool thing about this is last year I built it, and this year all I had to do was set it up, plug it in when it gets cold, and my pigs were able to drink it. Why I did this project. Pigs must have access to fresh water. My project was during the freezing temperatures, and to teach you and other 4-Hers how to build it, and also to use for my future swine projects. Any questions?
Mothers always want what's best for their babies, and sometimes that mother sheep can't raise that lamb. That's where I like to step in and turn that orphan lamb into a healthy and strong bottle baby. This is how to feed a lamb. Tools needed for a lamb. A 20-ounce plastic bottle, a small funnel, and a butcher blend nipple, and milk replacer, and warm water. Tools needed for a boil. First, select milk replacement from any store that sells livestock feed. Get a 20-ounce plastic bottle and put on the small funnel. Add 2 scoops of milk replacement into the small funnel, into the 20-ounce plastic bottle using a small funnel, and add warm water until it is 3/4 full, and put on the cap and shake the bottle. Shake the bottle to mix the formula. Replace the cap with the Pickles brand nipple. Love your lamb. Feed your lamb the way its mother would. Cup your hand under the lamb's chin. Pet its ears, head, or neck to towards it should drink. Feed your lamb 4 to 6 ounces of milk replacement 4 times a day. 8 to 20 ounces 3 times a day after 1 week. Give your lamb access to fresh water, clean hay, mineral, and feed. Wean your lamb off of milk at 12 weeks. When you see your lamb grazing with the other lambs and mamas, you know you raised a healthy and strong banjo baby that any mother will be proud of.
The importance of camping safety. Who here likes to go camping? I love camping. In fact, my family and I were out camping in Montana around Memorial Day, and we woke up into an unexpected 6 inches of snow. Luckily, my family and I were prepared with extra layers of clothes. Camping is fun, but you need to be prepared for any occasions like bad weather or not having a fire. The importance of camping safety is major. Not being prepared could lead to a big problem. So let's get you prepared to be safe and have fun. My brother, an Eagle Scout, once said he would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. What he means is having what you do not need is better than needing what you do not have. Today, let's take a look at the importance of camping safety. The materials are going to be a sleeping bag, a rope, a first aid kit, a matchbox or lighter, your choice, a waterproof jacket, comfortable hiking boots with socks, layers of clothes, a small backpack, a tent and a tarp, a small pot, a flashlight, and a water purifier. Step 1. Know what to put in your first aid kit. Your basics are multiple bandages, slings, and gauze. Step 2. Find a level spot to set up your tent. Step 3. Lay your tarp down and then set up your tent. Your tarp will help keep you safe from the bugs, and it will keep you dry at night. Step 4. Find a tree limb short enough that you can throw a rope over, but tall enough that any animal can't reach your trash. After you have your tree limb, you're going to throw your rope over and tie a square knot. That will be for your trash. Animals like dumpster diving, so they may get into your trash. So I would recommend, when you find your tree limb, try to find it far from your campsite to keep you safer at night. Step 5. Find small rocks and make a circle for your fire pit. Find small tree limbs and make a teepee shape. Then get your lighter and light your fire. Make sure you light your fire at the bottom so it can work its way up. Then you can get your small pot and cook stuff in it. Your fire pit will help keep your fire contained and will also help prevent a forest fire. Step 6. Put on your comfortable hiking socks and your hiking boots. Get your small backpack and put in your waterproof jacket and your water purifier. Your waterproof jacket will help just in case it rains, and your water purifier will help for safer drinking. Now it's time to go out and enjoy nature. My resources are wellplannedjourney.com and rei.com. Any questions? Thank you.
Juanita Marie Watson, Meemaw as we called her, was my great-grandmother who lived to be 95 years old. She had 4 kids, 9 grandkids, 23 great-grandkids, and 7 great-great-grandkids. Meemaw was raised on a farm and learned at a very young age how to be resourceful. She cooked, she cleaned, she gardened, just to name a few. From her garden, she grew cucumbers that would later become the topic of this speech, a famous Meemaw pickle. So famous in our family that my dad wants to patent this recipe and mass produce them. The materials needed to make a Meemaw pickle include 2 quarts of water, 1 quart of vinegar, 1 cup of canning salt, cucumbers, a dill plant, and a mason jar and a mason jar lid. Although you can find dill and cucumbers at a grocery store year-round, the peak season for cucumbers is from May to August, and the best time to find fresh dill is from late spring to early summer. When my family makes this recipe, we make them in bulk. Likely, we need more cucumbers and dill than we can find at a grocery store. This is why it is best to can a Meemaw pickle in the summer. To begin, wash the cucumbers well and make sure to scrub the blossom into the cucumber, which is the end of the cucumber with a rough dot. If you don't scrub the blossom into the cucumber, it can cause the cucumber to soften, because we all love a crispy, crunchy pickle. Then you need 1 large or 2 small dill heads per quart of the mason jar. One of Meemaw's secrets was to use the whole dill plant. She grew dill in her garden and cut the stem very close to the dirt. Stuff the dill in the bottom of the jar and pack the cucumbers tightly with it. Next, boil the water, salt, and vinegar for 5 minutes and pour over the cucumbers when this solution is still hot. You should also boil the disc part of your lid. Boiling the lid and leaving the solution hot helps create a better seal for the lid. Once the lid is sealed, wait at least 3 months to eat. My family typically cans in July and waits till November to eat. To conclude, it is still a huge tradition in my family to get together and make Meemaw pickles. We eat, swim, and from start to finish, make the pickles. And maybe my dad's dream will come true. And one day, you will be able to buy a Meemaw pickle off the shelf of your local grocery store.
Good evening. Today I am going to talk about how burgers are made. You take a bite into a big, juicy, delicious hamburger, and then you wonder where it comes from. After a while of deep thinking, you realize your parents just cooked ground beef with a few added spices to make it. But really, it all starts with our local Tennessee farmers. First, cows are put in chutes and fed often to keep them calm and relaxed, because the calmness of the cow affects the quality of the meat. The cow is then put in an unconscious state so it feels no harm when being processed. The shoulder is next cut, cleaned, and ground into beef. The beef is put in Tupperwares and refrigerated trucks so it can be drove to supermarkets and grocery stores around the world. Before you start cooking, wash your hands. That way less germs get into the beef. Also, instead of putting it on the bare counter, you need to put it in a bowl because there are lots of germs on the counter. Next, crack an egg over the beef and make sure the yolk runs thoroughly into the meat because it's that yolk that is going to keep the burger together. Then add spices such as salt, pepper, and garlic powder to give it a kick of flavor. Also, you can add Worcestershire sauce to give it more flavor. Then you need to mix it all up. I like my burger medium rare, so we cook them for 6 minutes, 3 minutes each side on the stove at a medium-high heat. Now it's time to construct your burger. First, add buns, then cheese, the burger, because you need a burger with a burger, and then you can add whatever toppings you like. I like lettuce to give it a little bit of crunch, and bacon because that's just what I like. And I like to add condiments such as ketchup and mustard. But you can add whatever fits you. In conclusion, these are the steps that you and the farmer take to turn a cow into a burger. Bon appetit!
Grr, grr, I am hungry. I think I should have an acai bowl. An acai bowl is different than a smoothie and are delicious. They're super easy to make. So easy that I'm going to show you how to make one today. Let's begin. The materials needed are a blender, a bowl, a spoon, a 1/4 measuring cup, a spatula, 2 frozen acai packets, 1 banana, any liquid like any juice, any type of milk, water, or more. And then lastly, toppings, your choice. Now the steps. The first step is you have to get out your blender, plug it in, and then you have to cut open your acai packets and squeeze them into the blender. They might take a minute to cut if they're not fully thawed. If you want to thaw them, you can put them under lukewarm water. I like to use 2 because 1 wouldn't fill me up enough. And if you just want a snack, you can just use 1. Now you have to peel your banana and drop it into the blender. You can use a frozen banana if you would like. It does take a little bit longer to blend if you use a frozen banana. Now you have to pour 1/4 cup of your liquid into the blender. I like to use extra creamy oat milk because I think it just makes it a lot more creamier. Now you have to blend your ingredients together until they're smooth. If it doesn't blend well, you can just put a splash more liquid in there. Now that it's blended, you can
pour it into your blender, or pour it into your bowl, add toppings, and enjoy. For my toppings, I personally like to add granola, sliced bananas, sliced strawberries, and honey. You can add tons more toppings like chia seeds, any type of fruit, any type of nuts, almond butter, peanut butter, and sometimes you can even put like frozen blueberries, any type of frozen fruit too. I would not recommend putting frozen bananas on there because they would be way too hard to eat. Where I got this idea from is Clean Juice, and also my uncle that is the manager of one all the way in California. Here are some of the other types of smoothie bowls that I was talking about. To end, I hope you will make these at home. They're great breakfast food and are delicious. I hope you like learning about how to make an awesome acai bowl.
I just played the song Elizabeth's Dance on the 5-string banjo, but the only reason I was able to play it was because I could read the tablature, and that's exactly what I'm about to teach you how to do. This is a banjo, one of the easiest string instruments to learn. The same goes with reading the music. To read banjo music, you will need to know what tablature is. Tablature, or tabs, is a way of reading and writing banjo music. To understand this, you will need to learn about the strings and frets. Let's start at the strings. From top to bottom, facing me, the strings are labeled D, B, G, D again, and G again. Keep those in mind while I move on to the frets on the banjo. On the banjo, there are 22 usable frets, indicated by these lines on the neck of the banjo. The frets start numbered at 1, closest to the peg head, all the way down to 22, closest to the head. Let's now talk about the banjo staff. As you can see here, there are 5 lines with the letters D, B, G, D, and G. These letters correspond to the strings and tell you which string to play with your right hand, since I'm right-handed. The number on each line tells you which fret to push down with your left hand. Finally, the rhythm. Most banjo music is written in 4/4 time. That means there are 4 beats per measure, with each beat being equal to 1 quarter note. If you have played an instrument before, you will know that there are whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, and so on. Let's start at the quarter notes. A quarter note, which is equal to 1 beat, is written with just a straight line down. An eighth note, which is played for half the duration of a quarter note, is written with a straight line down and a little flag at the end. But if 2 eighth notes are written next to each other, they'll be connected at the bottom with a line. Finally, the 16th notes. A 16th note is played for half the duration of an eighth note. There are also rests, which indicate when you don't play anything at all. There are whole rests, half rests, quarter rests, and so on. But let's keep it simple with an easy song called Liberty. As you can see here in the beginning, there's a 2-0 pattern. It goes 2, 0, 2, 0, all quarter notes. First, I find the string, which is D. The 2 here means it's the 2nd fret, so I push my finger down on the D string, 2nd fret. The same applies with 0. 0 means nothing, so I don't have to push down any fret at all. I just play the string, which is G. Once you have done that with each note, it should sound something like this. After this, you have learned about the rhythm, banjo staff, and strings and frets, and how they translate into banjo tablature. I hope you find this knowledge useful sometime in the future and you read and play like I've taught you. My sources for this demonstration were my banjo teachers Mr. Andy Rao and Mr. Chris Stout, daringbanjos.com, and istockphoto.com for the images of my slides. Thank you for your time. Does anybody have any questions?
Ever been to a magic show and been left feeling astonished and amazed? I bet you really wanted to figure out that trick. So today, I'll teach you how to do an awesome magic trick that will impress everyone. I'll start by doing the trick. Here we have 3 cups and 3 balls, but that's all about to change. We'll set up the cups like so and place a ball in the middle. We'll stack the cups only to find out the ball is underneath. We'll repeat a second time and stack the cups. Now 2 balls are underneath. We'll repeat a third time with 3 balls, and then we'll go one last time with no balls remaining. We'll stack the cups to realize that there's 3 cups. 1, 2, 3. But 4 balls. So, do you want to learn the trick? Let's start with the basic rules of magic. Rule number 1, practice, practice, practice. As Teller, a famous magician, once said, sometimes the magic to doing any magic trick is just someone practicing more times than anybody else would expect or believe. Rule number 2, never do a magic trick twice. The more times that you do the trick, the better that they'll expect and figure out what's happening. So, try to limit it down to 1 and maybe 2. Rule number 3, never teach a magic trick unless you absolutely, no doubt about it, for sure, truly need to. Soon, they'll tell their friends, and they'll tell their friends, and soon the whole world will know your trick. This isn't a rule, but don't use clear cups. I will for the sake of the demonstration. Okay. You will need 3 solo cups, or just any kind of cup. They don't need any gimmick whatsoever. Perfectly normal. And 4 small round balls. You must notice that the balls must all be able to fit in the cup and stack nicely. Otherwise, that'll ruin the trick. Also, it's good to keep all your materials usually the same color. Otherwise, it gets too chaotic and confusing to know what's going on. You'll begin by placing 3 balls in the top cup and 1 ball underneath. Then you'll reveal the top 3 balls to the audience and tell them to remember the number 3 balls and 3 cups. Next, you'll want to set up the cups. You'll want to practice this motion so that you land it with the ball inside the cup. You don't want it to be too fast, where it looks very odd, or too slow, where the ball rolls out, and they know your trick. Once you practice that motion, then you can set the first ball on top of the middle cup, with 1 already underneath. You'll set up the cups, tap, use your magic wand, do any kind of gesture, and it will appear under the bottom. The second time, you want to secretly slide it with the first ball underneath. This time, try to land it, and then both balls would be underneath. Set the last cup, place a ball on the middle, tap, magic gesture, whatever, and 2 balls will appear. You'll do this for 3 balls. And then at the very end, when you have no more balls remaining, you'll want to make it very dramatic
and go, I have 3 cups and 4 bowls. If your audience remembered those numbers, then they're going to be very surprised and confused. I would like to thank my father for encouraging me to keep practicing, and a YouTube channel called About Magic. They taught me the trick. They also have a ton of other card trick videos and magic trick videos. I came up with all the dramatic parts though. So, grab 3 cups, 4 balls, practice, 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 and go impress your friends.
Ow, my skin is so itchy. What should I do? Oh, I know. I should apply body cream. That will moisturize my skin. Ah, that feels so much better. Using body creams regularly will keep my skin smooth and soft. But what if there's a way you can make your own cream with all natural ingredients? That way, you would know the ingredients and you could reduce waste. My name is Dia Asher, and today I'm going to teach you how to make your own all-natural body cream. For this cream, you will need coconut oil. This moisturizes your skin. Olive oil. This has vitamin E. Beeswax pellets. This protects your skin from harsh weather. Calendula flowers. They're part of the marigold family, and they protect minor cuts and wounds. And if you would like, essential oils. All of these can be found at local grocery stores, such as Walmart, Kroger, Publix, and even online on Amazon. You will also need a crock pot or double boiler, a pot. I will be demonstrating with a clear bowl so you can see, a cheesecloth, and a container to store your lotion. For our first step, we are going to use the crock pot. To this we will add half a cup of coconut oil, half a cup of olive oil, and 1 cup of calendula flowers. Turn it on for 3 hours at medium heat. Make sure to stir the mixture several times while it is on heat. This will extract the oils from the calendula flowers and mix them in with the olive oil and the coconut oil. 1, 2, 3. Wow, this smells amazing! Now that 3 hours are up, it is time to strain the mixture using a cheesecloth. A cheesecloth is a special type of cloth used in cooking to separate solids from liquids. Strain your mixture into a pot. While you touch the crock pot, it will be very hot. I suggest you wear some sort of protective gloves. Be careful while squeezing out the oils too. We are almost done. Next, add 1/4 cup of beeswax pellets into the calendula oil, the mixture we have just created. Beeswax protects our skin from harsh weather. Melt the beeswax pellets over a stove. Due to the requirement of a stove, I will not be able to show you this step over here. This is how I did it at home. And I like to add about 20 drops of any essential oil. But this step is optional. Let it cool for about 15 minutes. Then act fast and pour it into containers where you can store it for up to 1 year. Ta-da! It is ready for use. Applying cream keeps our skin moisturized, hydrated, and super healthy.
It also helps fight wrinkles, keeping our skin young and fresh. And as a big bonus, cream helps you relax, especially after a hot shower. I always get a good night's sleep when I apply cream before going to bed. And making cream at home is great because you know the ingredients. Some creams could have ingredients that you are allergic to, but you don't even know. By making cream at home, you will already know the ingredients. And you can also reduce waste by making cream at home. Oh, and if you're wondering, this cream is good for up to 1 year. That is because the vitamin E from the olive oil acts as a preservative. And my best resource was my mom's friend, who shared lots of information with me about this topic. I also saw a few recipes on the Paleo Mama and saw a few YouTube videos on the topic too. Thank you. Do you have any questions for me?